This is going to turn from being Thereabouts Colombia to like Thereabouts Survivor.
When the Morton brothers first reached out to ask me to help develop and direct Thereabouts 3 in Colombia, it was a dream come true. I've wanted to produce a documentary about cycling in Colombia since I first became an expat here 4 years ago. In 2005, I pedaled my touring bicycle for 2 years from Alaska to Argentina. This journey is what first introduced me to Colombia on 2 wheels and inspired me to ditch my former life as a software salesman to become a cycling photojournalist and eventually start a video production company based in Bogota. Gus and Lachlan are 2 of the world's most gifted young professional racers. And as I began to research the project, I became fascinated by their personal story that they documented so beautifully in their previous 2 Thereabouts films. The first, they biked across the Australian outback together to rediscover their passion for the sport after older brother Gus burned out and gave up on his career as a professional rider for Drapac Porsche. For the second film, they crossed Colorado and Utah after Lachlan quit on a seemingly once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to ride at the World Tour level with one of the world's top teams, Garmin Sharp. The brothers wanted to return to the sport on their own terms, racing on the same team together. They signed with American-based Jelly Belly, and in 2016, Gus rode alongside his little brother and supported his emotional comeback victory at the Tour of Utah. A win that has led Lachlan back to the big leagues, and a contract with one of the world's top teams again, Dimension Data. I'd never met the Morton brothers before they landed in Colombia, but in the few brief phone calls I had with them before the trip, it was clear that they wanted huge days in the saddle, in places that even Colombian cyclists wouldn't ride because of the difficulty and remote terrain. They wanted to meet people with fascinating stories. They didn't bring any sports drinks or supplements because they wanted to eat and drink from the roadside. And most shockingly, they didn't even want to know what or where each day's ride would take them until the morning of their departure. I was blown away with their blind trust in my route planning. Colombia is a raw country. It's beautiful and unpredictable and exotic, with huge variations in altitude. Because the brothers' only guideline for the trip was to have a legitimate adventure, frankly, my primary concern with developing their itinerary was to send them back home alive. Before they started pedaling, I really wanted them to see what they're getting into. So I asked my friend to fly them above the same mountains they would soon be riding over, the departments of Boyacá and Antioquia, Colombia's cycling heartland. Then I dropped them 6,000 feet down the Andes from the extreme altitude of Bogota to my farmhouse for both a cultural and physical acclimatization day before returning to Bogota, where we set off on the proper route together with our Colombian-based film crew.
Today, day 0, we're riding back to Bogota, and we're going to be starting with a nearly 2,000 meter climb. It's going to be a nice little warm up to kick us off. Yeah.
Up and over this hill behind. Estamos buscando huevos. Sí. ¿Y eso? Sí, bueno.
No, que si no está tan fuerte no está, porque yo no me gusta hacerlo tan fuerte. Que nos coge el sueño trabajando. ¿Y sabes que está así descalzo?
She's asking why you're barefooted.
Oh.
Después de ver el buche.
Muéstrale al campeón más fuerte que tienes. His favorite champion cock.
So we're just up at the fighting cocks, I guess. I'm gonna say it's probably illegal in Australia. I've never seen them, and now they just look like normal.
Where the hell are they? Good?
He's an apprentice fighting cock. Working his way up to the big leagues. This is apparently the champion. He's won his last 3 fights.
Greg said that we're just gonna go get some eggs for breakfast, and I thought, oh mate, you must have chickens on the farm, so we're just gonna walk. We've walked up the road, up around the corner, and I didn't put any shoes on. I was like, oh yeah, we're fine. And so yeah, now I've just been walking in pig shit. And that's right though, I'm tough. I'm a grown man, I can handle it. Got the eye on from the air.
Oh, that's a good one. That's where we're going up there, right?
You guys good? Okay, we're gonna keep just going forward and taking shots of you as you go by. And we'll stop for some sweetbreads up the top in about 30 minutes.
These are good. That's one mystery that we're starting to solve. Why Colombians are such good climbers.
Yeah.
Big mountains.
We're on that gypsy rock, non-stop, cumbia, hip-hop. Play it for the cats, rocking tags at the bus stop. Been in Bogota just about a week, creating with the Moreneta family as we speak. It got that clave, non-stop, cumbia, hip-hop, freestyle sessions, learning lessons till the sun drops. Dre is on the lick and it sounds so sweet. Now take a minute to relax and enjoy the beat.
It's a long hill. "33 k's of uphill." It's crazy the change in like climate and temperature up here.
Fuck, that's a big hill.
Fuck.
Yeah, you can notice that altitude.
After 2 days of acclimatization, we left my apartment in Bogota, where I arranged for a group of local riders to escort the guys out of the city to the department of Boyacá. Our 12-day road trip across Colombia had begun.
There's chaos up there, man. It's like 6 in the morning and like racing all these guys at 3,000 meters, dodging cars.
When we arrived in the town, we kind of grabbed some breakfast and a few bits and pieces because we were kind of going out where there was no towns for the next few hours. Whilst we were there was a little bike shop, like just 100 or 200 old bike frames and hundreds of bike wheels just piled up. And a couple of mechanics just standing at the front, just fixing people's bikes. And a gentleman rode up and pulled in to get his tyre fixed. And his name was Nelson. He was riding exactly the same road and asked if he could come with us. And we were like, yeah, definitely. So we got chatting to him. He explained that he'd lost his leg in a climbing incident. After he'd lost his leg, he then went and climbed the highest peak on all 7 continents, which was like, holy shit, you know, pretty damn impressive. And Nelson started drilling it. And Lockie tries to go alongside him and he's just like, nah. So nah. He just kept like accelerating to the point where it was just Lachlan and I on his wheel. You know, 2 professional bike riders on this guy's wheel with 1 leg. Dude, he just ripped our legs off at the top there. He's on a mountain bike. He's just like... He's like twice our age. It's awesome. He's a legend, this guy. He's super nice. It's only day one. Yeah, we're good. We just came around the corner here. These trucks have just had a crash not long ago, I guess. And we just pulled down this fence so that we can drive the car through and shit.
Ciclistas profesionales de carreras.
¿También viene? ¿De dónde viene usted?
No. Brothers.
Your name?
Lachlan.
Gus. Angus. Like the cat, like the cow.
Gracias. Thank you very much. You're very
Strong.
Very
Oh
strong.
man, so good, huh?
Okay.
Gracias.
Congratulations, gracias.
O aquí al frente hay un sitio, aquí por detrás de usted. ¿Alguien famoso?
Más o menos
¿Qué son?
ciclistas
Sí,
profesionales
yo sé, pero han
de Australia, son buenos, son
buenísimos.
importantes.
australianos.
Gus and Lachlan.
Gracias.
Rolled out of Kukunawa, 6 kilometers out of town, feeling good. And then we hit the gravel and straight onto like a 20% wall. And then we sort of rolled into mining country. And the road turned totally black with coal. And there's these guys popping out of these mines and open fires, and you could smell it, and we're breathing in all the shit.
That was brutal. Like 7 hours. I'm not sure how far it was, but yeah, like no one could touch us when we left lunch. And then we just got on these little back roads that were like really thin, just crazy steep and like rough as shit. And then there was like a whole bunch of coal mines and stuff like that along the way as well, and they're all burning. It was pretty crazy actually.
It's been pretty epic. The last like hour and a half were hard. Very real, day one.
Oye, muchas gracias.
Gracias.
Qué amables son ustedes, bueno. Muy amables.
Ciao.
Sí.
Thinking out there, this is going to turn from being like Thereabouts Colombia to like Thereabouts Survivor. Like, we have no idea what we're doing every day, and then we just start out and like it's just this fucked up challenge that we've got no comprehension of what it's going to be. We just have to complete it every day, and if
The last brother standing wins. Me on there. All right. Lucky I have my helmet on.
We got a message saying that Miguel Lopez would be in his hometown, Sogamoso, which is not far from where we were staying, and that he would be keen to do a really short ride with us. He wanted to ride at 7 a.m. We were 80 kilometres away. Piled all of our shit into our little four-wheel drive and drove over there at 5:30 or something in the morning. His manager was the first guy to turn up, and then a crew of young, like the local under 23 or junior cycling teams, and then Lopez showed up.
¿Y ese es el Superman López?
El Superman Lopez.
El de la Astana, el hombre de la Astana.
It was kind of weird. During the ride, the whole time his manager was next to him, so we didn't get a chance to ride alongside him. So then we were riding alongside all of the local team, and they were super funny. They were like really enthusiastic and really boisterous and kind of funny guys. So it was a good vibe. And then we sat down for the interview, and you could tell that he was just another interview with Ringo Journos. So it was difficult to kind of get like his personality.
2011, he was training for the race here called the Volta de Porvenir, and he was super stoked about it. And he was out for a training run, and two guys came and tried to jump him, and they stabbed him twice. Those races, safe.
Sí, sí.
And he said he didn't want to lose his fucking bike for anything. I didn't think he didn't say fuck.
Yeah.
He didn't want to lose his bike, so they started, and he defended him. He defended all those guys against him, and he kept his bike and got out of there.
Where did he get stabbed?
Donde se?
En la pierna derecha.
This was his first ever professional race.
Oh,
It was
really?
15 days before his first ever professional race, and he went on and he raced. And he was super nervous about it. It's the first time riding with like 200 guys.
Yeah.
And he finished in the top 15, so it was okay. And so afterwards, his coaches, sus técnicos y sus amigos siguen diciendo Superman.
When we started racing when we were young, we lost sight of that while we loved bike riding. And in order to kind of get that love back, we would explore the countryside. What we want to know is what was it that got you into bike riding?
Desde pequeño con la bici tenía conexión con bici, al colegio iba en bici, siempre a trabajar en bici, y nada, al final he cogido mucha afición, mucho amor a la bici.
He loves to come back here because he goes to Europe to race, he comes back. Why is it so important for him to be here?
Por la preparación, por la altura, por el clima. El equipo entiende que uno debe estar con la familia, y también que me he ganado la confianza del equipo, como lo ha hecho Nairo también, que se prepara acá, va allá y da tantos resultados.
Everyone's laughing and joking. What do you guys do to have fun off the bike?
No tenemos que hacer mucho de vivir la vida como muy felices, como disfrutar de todo, porque este es un deporte en el que tienes que descansar, tienes que tener tanta disciplina.
Y nadie toca la guitarra, canta, baila, algo así.
No, aquí no.
¿No?
Esto no.
Super.
Thank you. So when we started riding, they thought Gus and I were just two Australian journalists that had come to interview Lopez. And then they worked out that I'd won Utah.
De Utah. Tour de Utah. ¿Él?
Tour de Utah champion. I
My name is Wally. Peligro. Danger. Peligro.
Okay, cool.
No peligro.
You to know Esperanza Gomez?
I'm gonna die. 50k climb at 2,800 meters with a bunch of tiny Colombian guys.
Hey baby, let's go.
Let's go.
They were keen to show us their local climb. You could tell that it was that fresh meat situation where they wanted a new punching bag. You know, they always train together, so fuck it, let's do it. And I took my jacket off and then it was on. So it's like me and 10 of these young guys just taking turns at just attacking me. It's 100% full sprint for as long as they can go, and then you have to just chase, and then they blow up. So it took me a little while to like work out what they were doing. I didn't really know how long the climb was, but you could sort of gauge from the valley. Finally, in the end, it just it came down to me and this one other guy, and then two of his mates were on the back of a truck going like 40k an hour, just like flying past, and that was it. Like, they were gone. It just blew my mind, the level of those young guys and the enthusiasm that they had just to come out and train. I'd never seen that before. It's like a movie. I think it's like Mel Gibson or someone. It's called Get the Gringo. I think that's what just happened. Hey, strong, huh? Campione. That's the definition of pain. Racing a bunch of Colombian amateurs above 3,000 meters on their home climb with a stomach full of empanadas. Like, yesterday was a fucking huge day, and then we woke up so early and it was like, oh, we start to ride, and I was like, I feel like shit. And then they start to race and it's like, oh, when else are you going to get the opportunity to like ride with these guys here?
No sé, de regreso a Toca o algo así, Pipe Toca, así.
Pues por ahí salía, pero por ahí sí es destapado.
¿Ese es destapado acá?
Sí.
A él le gusta, mira las bicis.
Pero es lejos.
Es harta montaña y dura, larga.
¿Dónde?
That was awesome. That was fantastic. That was such a good morning. This is amazing up here. That storm like blowing in over there. So peaceful. Riding around a lot of onion fields, and I guess there was probably some other stuff in there too, and Greg sort of called us off. We could see like a bunch of
people working in the fields. So we pulled down into the fields and kind of rode out. So we went out in the field, like took our shoes off and climbed down to the field and had a go at like digging and planting a bunch of spring onion. They were kind of like leeks. They look like anyway. Just pulled up out of nowhere, like a couple of white dudes, like in cycling kit, pretty fucked because we've been riding like hard all day. And so like, do you mind if we just have a go? And like, they didn't like look twice, there was cameras and stuff. They're just like, yeah, whatever. Apart from that, I just had a massive head spin. We just drank guarapo, which is a fermented honey drink. We drank it straight out of like a gallon petrol drum, and then a Sprite bottle cut in half. So a little bit boozed, and feeling pretty good. That's pretty good.
They're gonna shit their brains out like probably about 6 hours from now.
So we had a start on day 3. We got to sleep in a little bit and we rolled out of town at 9 o'clock. And then we had to jump on the freeway, which is the first time we'd experienced the freeway in Colombia. We basically tried to ride it as fast as we could. And then took a hard left and then started climbing. And then Greg informed us we were coming up on Nairo Quintana's hometown. Immediately I was like, no wonder he's so good. You know, because he just does this brutal climb every single day just to get home. So we kind of rolled around the square and looked for somewhere to eat, and we stopped at a bakery, which turns out it's Nairo's bakery. The Quintana special, apparently. Whenever he goes back, he still gets the same thing. So we ordered, obviously, what he had. There it is. Secret to Nairo's success.
The continuation of the climb, it just got worse. Yep, this is why he's so good. And we got to the top and there was a little cafe type bar thing up there with a huge Nairo mural, and his house is not far from there. Where he lives currently is not far from there, and it's right on the top of this mountain. And for a lot of that Boyaca and I guess the entire Colombia, like, he really is a huge champion and a huge source of pride.
It's been like an awesome thing to have Gus on the same team as me these last 2 years, because it's like I was kind of trying to find myself as a bike rider again, and you know, like, we spend so much time together. You don't have to say anything, like, we kind of just know what each other's thinking. It's awesome. It's like a totally unique situation that, like, I don't think anyone gets in bike riding, and I think that's shown with the way we've raced, you know, and the results we've had. It's going to be tough to leave that behind, definitely.
Yesterday, they stopped to just grab some snacks on the side of the road.
Yeah.
And the girl who was making the bread started flirting with him.
Yeah.
Right? And so he started flirting back. And he got her number. And he's been up chatting with her all night long. No. And she's leaving like these really like sweet kind of sexy voicemails to him. He's like totally in love. He's got like, I got a new girlfriend right now.
Yeah.
Pues sí, tienes tiempo para trabajar, pues también saca tiempo para el amor, ¿no crees? Y pues no sé, pues Se me hace raro, o sea, déjame decirte que eres muy
Dude,
simpático, pero
she
pasa que
sounds
tienes novia.
sexy.
Es algo raro. Yo digo, no tengo novia, porque yo soy fea, pero tú, con esos ojazos que tienes.
Ah, increíble. Yo no. Yo no tengo los ojazos.
We knew that we were going to a town called Villa de Leyva, which was back up at about 2,100, 2,200 meters. And we started grinding our way up there and passing kids coming back from school. We passed a couple of boys, these two young dudes.
They jumped on their bikes and attacked full speed, exactly like the day before. And it just became immediately apparent, like, this is just ingrained in the culture here. Finally got to town and we were both totally fucked. It'd been a long day, it was the third long day in a row, and in my head the only thing I could think of is like, I just want to get to the hotel, have a shower and lie down. And when we rolled into the square and it opened up, probably one of the most amazing town squares I've ever seen. It was like, okay, I can see why we came in this way.
Today is your active rest day.
Okay.
And there's a couple reasons why you're not riding today. One is because over the next like 5 days you're gonna get fucked on the route.
If we haven't already been
fucked last week.
We're gonna have you go do a hike to national reserves called Iguaque. You're gonna hike from just outside of town up into the Paramo. And the Paramo is where you saw those crazy plants the other day.
Yeah.
For the record, I'm pretty happy we've got a rest day.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
definitely.
Sweet.
Too easy.
Let's go hiking.
"11:30 in the morning. We woke up this morning again as usual, no idea what we were doing. And then Greg, the Gregorio, told us we were going on a hike. We had a rest day, so instead we were just going to hike up the side of a mountain. So I think rest is probably not the word. It's definitely different, but it's been awesome, man. Like, we came up through the jungle, like way down in this valley here, and now we're like on the side of this mountain, 3,600 meters. It's awesome, man. It's kind of surreal just hiking mountains in Colombia. La cucaracha, I don't remember any words.
Where is Gregorio Martinez?
He's greasing his hands again.
He's greasing his hands off our back.
Are you texting?
We should all take a selfie. All four of us. Just like missed out big time.
Okay.
Sickest place we've ever been.
Okay, selfie. Selfie to send to Greg.
Yeah. Oh, is that what that is? I was like, yeah. I thought you just had like a weird phone.
You're like a fucked up. Okay, let's send this to Greg. This is for Greg because he didn't arrive.
It's sweet though, we know we'll get it straight away because he's busy checking his email.
He's so busy. It's more efficient to look the WhatsApp rather than to be real life.
You should say, dude, you should have come. We got phone reception up here. Oh, big bubble. Oh, that big bubble.
No, sí es. Sí es. Vamos.
people sort of see you as either like a professional bike rider, you know, like a lawyer, and this is like this cage that you're in. But you can be, you know, you can do what we're doing and be a professional bike rider, or like you can do what we're doing and be a lawyer. Are we rebels? No. We're Gus and Lachlan. We're just two guys doing what we want to do and living like the most enjoyable way we can, the most fulfilling way. For me, that's what we're trying to achieve, is like a level of satisfaction, not what someone else tells us is the right way to live, or not what someone else, you know, says is the wrong or rebellious thing to do. We're just living. Fortuitous, you might say.
You guys know where you just stopped?
No. What is this? Whoa, got it! It like explode. So you're trying to hit these little things in the mud, and when you hit them, they explode. It must be like gunpowder or something. Oh, and then they explode like that.
Todavía les falta. No, pero sí, con un par de jugadas más de eso se ponen de las manos. Empiezan a alinear, claro. Esa era.
Good. It's a developing technique. That's actually, believe it or not, the most private piss that he's done in a pair of Nicks.
Marrano, ya. Aquí se escribe uno 10 personas y paga 10.000 de inscripción. Y el primero que haga 51 a mano lleva 10 libras. Ya.
Yes.
Bueno, y la boca para que
Master the track stand. You start with an uphill, and on a road bike you need like a little bit of gradient to push against. Just pedal, and then you try and slowly you make that smaller and smaller until you're just basically just putting pressure on the pedal. Considering it, today was probably the easiest day we've had, and it was still like more than 6.5 hours and 210k. That sort of speaks for the sort of riding we've been doing.
Sí, en las comidas. Ahí está abierta la habitación. La que cae frente.
On that bed cover, there is a mystical and beautiful woman blowing a kiss of dolphins to the inhabitant of the bed, I guess. Isn't that like a toy box stashed under one of the beds here? Yeah, where's the Matchbox cars? Oh, dude. Check out the view. It's like a dungeon. Seriously, it's like a room to nowhere. Oh yeah.
First hotel that accepts credit card. All right, you guys ready for the route explanation? So I'm going to give you the next 2 days of route because I think it's important for you to understand the day after tomorrow. Tomorrow you're going to go basically almost all downhill, down the side of the Andes to the Magdalena River, pretty much at 400 or 500 meters, 400, 300 meters above sea level. Right here in Lerida, okay?
Yeah.
And then you know about Letras Pass, right? Alto de Letras.
It's like the biggest one in Colombia.
It's the biggest one in the world.
Yeah, okay.
It's the biggest pass that's climbed by cyclists in the world. It goes from like 400 meters to over 4,000 meters.
Holy shit.
And it's 85 kilometers long.
So I guess that day will just be 85 Ks.
Yeah. So what's going to happen is we're not going to ride up Letras.
We're not?
No. And we're going to go over the old highway.
Okay.
Over the old original Letras, which is mostly a gravel. It actually goes up higher than Letras. It goes like 4,400 meters.
Climbs 4,000 meters?
Yeah. 4,000 meters up there.
This is a classic stick.
Then we're going to finish the day down here in these natural hot springs. Like they're kind of hot springs resort.
Yeah, you get to get in?
Yeah, you get to get in. We're going to stay at the hot springs.
So I'm going to fuck at the T-back.
I got no idea what they
Big
just fucking said.
Apparently he was the cousin of the brother of Nara Guitar or something.
Yeah, he's saying like there's some relation. So riding on the roads of Colombia is total chaos. There's dogs, trucks, buses, and everyone just seems to do what they want. After having 2 or 3 days on the roads, we sort of got there is like a flow to it, and there is some sort of structure to it, but it's still, you have to be on your toes at all moments. But it's a lot of fun in the end, like we really got into it.
The moment that I was the most hairy wasn't actually my life wasn't in danger. Lockie would overtaking big doubles, trucks, and Lockie started boosting past one. I was like, fuck, don't go, stop. But he didn't hear me and just went, and that was pretty tight. He nearly got scissored.
It's like rolling along up here.
So that should be the Magdalena River down there. The valley.
Yeah, okay. So we're going down to the town down here somewhere. And then behind that big cloud is the huge mountain we're going to go up tomorrow. That's definitely one of the highlights so far. That was sick. Like too steep, so you don't really need to brake, but you also don't have to pedal. You can just like roll and go fast down around all the corners, and like you can see how far you still have to go all the way down the valley.
What happened? Did you guys put on mosquito spray?
No, dude, I got destroyed.
I don't have mosquito spray.
Yeah, I didn't do it. 4 a.m. departure from the parking lot.
Just to beat the weather?
Yeah, it's to get up there before it gets nasty.
Yeah.
And also to give you enough time to get there to the hotel in time before darkness.
Getting ready to climb Letras. Feels like we're going to like Everest summit or something.
We're a little bit anxious as to just how things would unfold. It's one of those things where you know Like, you know you're going to make it, but you just don't know how deep you're going to have to go. You don't know what's going to come. And so it's like a very nervous, very anxious feeling.
We climbed the first probably 2 hours, maybe an hour and a half in the darkness, and that was a sensation I'd never had before, just driving in the car headlights, slowly making our way up the climb, and then stop for breakfast 2 hours into the climb, already 30 k's up the mountain. We're only a third of the way up.
About 32 or 33 k's up the climb. All good.
Still got
about 50k to go.
These are empanadas stuffed with cheese and guava fruit. They just came out of the oven like 20 seconds ago.
It's so fucking hot.
It's good. 3rd degree burns, it's good. By the time we kind of reached Majilo, which was the last town on the route, that was already after 60k of climbing. We thought the climb was 82 kilometers long. Beautiful, 82 k's, we'll summit. We've got like a 45 kilometer downhill. We've got this. And we said to each other when we were riding, we're like, okay, even if this road isn't like, this climb isn't that bad, we've got to pretend that it is really fucking hard. We've got to collapse at the end of it, because like if we don't, Greg's gonna like make us do something else really bad. And so we don't want that. So like we just got to really pretend that it's fucking hard.
¿Quiere tomarse un trago? What do you want? You want a shot? You want some alcohol now? A beer?
Okay, if you want to get drunk and do some shots with him.
You can go.
It's on him.
Come on.
I think
that's a good idea.
Hey, quiere un shot? Okay.
20 past 8 in the morning, and this guy refused to let us go until we did shots. He's like, no tea, no coffee.
Let's see how hard we can possibly make this climb.
Esto es de lo más tradicional, de lo más antiguo que hay en este pueblo, en el mundo del negocio. ¡Salud!
We're in good spirits, you know, we'd had a little drink with the locals at 8:30 in the morning, first. And the vibe was good, and we thought, yeah, we're going to knock this out. You know, we knew there was some dirt road coming up, but that's a very ambiguous term, particularly in Colombia. And we've very quickly found out that the dirt road was savage.
Fuck, these guys are gonna fucking kill me. This is like a rough dirt track for like 30 kids.
This is bullshit. Once we left Majilo and we hit the dirt section, it was pretty evident that we weren't going to need to pretend to Greg that we were fine.
That was hard, man.
Yeah.
The last 20k.
Fuck me, man. Like, you just cracked you.
We just climbed up a hill really hard for 5 hours.
Yep.
I tell you what it was like. It was like a boxing match with the hill.
Yeah.
Did you tell them that we're finished? Or you just had a celebration like you finished?
No, I just keep quiet and they started to talk and they sit down in that place and
I think they think they're finished because they just had like we finished at the peak.
they actually went down and Lachlan thought it was all the way down already, so he climbed up again thinking that hot is the actual hot springs that you promised.
No.
Yeah.
You're full of shit. They know we have more left to do. I want to know what makes you guys think you're finished yet.
I don't know. I rode around that corner and it was downhill a little bit. So I called it right here. Fuck.
There's probably more. We might not even be at the top yet. I'm freezing cold.
You know, every sort of kilometre or so it would drop and then it would climb back up and it would drop and it would climb back up, and each time it would be pushing 4,200 metres.
We climbed 4,160 metres in one climb. One hill. One really big, long fucking hill.
That was really cool, knowing that we were alongside a giant active volcano, like a volcano that's constantly kind of smoking. But at the same time, it was so hard to focus on the enormity of what you were doing because you were just so focused on the meter and the 2 meters in front of you, just trying to negotiate a path.
This does not want to actually descend.
It was freezing cold. Like, we kind of were like losing our shit a bit because we'd been at that altitude for so long and really like working hard at that altitude. So you're kind of in this a bit dazed.
That was, without a doubt, probably the most epic bike ride I've ever done. Fucking crazy. Colombia, man. That was a big day. I put my feet in this, it's freezing. Shit, that's hot. I'm everything. I'm like physically fucked, like my legs. I'm really tired. I'm hungry. I'm really cold.
Also like super happy.
Yeah, exactly.
Like incredibly happy.
I've never seen anything or been anywhere like that, and to be able to ride your bike there, it's like crazy, man. That's
the old road, man. Those guys who ride the regular lecherous road are posers. It's not even real. Someone put out the memo. It's not the biggest climb in the world.
The old one's bigger.
The old one's bigger.
Climbing 100-kilometre continuous climb it's ridiculous. But then when you go and do it and you complete it, you're like, fuck, I did that. I kind of like, for a brief moment there, like I stood on top of the world, you know, I kind of conquered something that was truly epic.
And now the blood's coming back in my hands and they're really starting to hurt.
We knew that we were being rewarded with a nice hotel and some hot springs.
Oh, that is the business.
Fuck, it's cold.
So we went swimming in the hot springs and it's been a very memorable day, a very, very memorable day.
Like you're just in the middle of nowhere, particularly the way we came in. Like it just gives you that feeling of total isolation.
Another jacket. And another jacket. Because I got so cold yesterday. I don't want to be cold again. I gotta... We were promised, after one of the most epic days on a bike I've ever had, we were promised a recovery day. And like everything else in this trip, there were no specifics as to what that would entail. Then we found out immediately prior to riding that we'd be doing 120k.
Was actually 130.
if I don't have this outlet and I don't get the chance to ride my bike exactly how I want to ride, then I can't maintain the lifestyle of a professional bike rider. It's just not. It's not in my personality. It's not in my DNA to like live like that. Leaving the world tour for me, it wasn't like a real choice. It was pretty much the only thing I could see that I could do that would make me happier. But it's easy to see like from the outside that the world tour cycling is like this ideal lifestyle when everyone's reality is different. And thinking about it like from, say, the kids we were riding with in Boyaca, like, you know, they would just give anything, like anything to have that shot at, you know, a chance in the world tour, and I kind of pissed up against the wall, which, like, I can understand that, and like I'll take that, but for me, like, my background's totally different to these guys, and so yeah, it wasn't a choice, and it was something I just had to do.
That was another Thereabouts rest day presented by classic Greg Stitch-ups.
The more and more we progress, I think the less and less Greg actually knows about perceived effort and actually knows about bike riding. Like, even though he rode a bike a lot and was a cycling journalist for ages, I actually don't think he really knows what it's like to ride a bike.
Yesterday was huge, and then today we thought we had an easy day, but it was not so easy. Just hard on the head. We're here now. What the fuck is that noise?
Day 9 started after a bullshit rest day, so we weren't super rested. Day 9 was also like completely made up on the spot. And we rode kind of into the foothills on our way to a town called Hedico, which we started to do on our way to Hedico about 21 or 2 kilometers away. The climb began, and holy shit, it was fucked up. The mountains in Antioquia were much different to up in Boyaca and some of the other regions that we've been riding in. They're really steep, they look really steep, kind of, you don't believe that there could be a road up the side of it. And so I guess we just didn't kind of think that we'd be going all the way to the top, or like the road would go all the way to the top.
I cracked mentally about 10 Ks from the finish of that ride, because I totally stopped enjoying myself. So mentally in my head, it was a hard thing to get your head around, like being in Colombia because you've chosen to be here and then really just not enjoying a second of it. Yeah, a little bit like angry at myself for being like, why aren't you enjoying this beautiful mountain, this beautiful ride? Like, but I was so fatigued that there was no possible way to enjoy it.
For me, it's not about beating anyone. What drives me is like the intricacies and the go into a win. You know, like it's like when you win, you're the one who like put the puzzle together the best on that day. You know, but a good example is the way when Lockie won in Utah. It was so well put together. It was so perfectly put together, and then so perfectly executed. That shit's fucking awesome when you see that happen. You know, there's no one else in the race. This is how things are going to go. This is how you train and train like that. And then my role was, you know, to be there in certain points of the race to do certain things. So I trained for those areas. It's a very emotional thing. That's what it is for me. It's this emotional thing. It's a personal thing. It's got nothing to do with being better than anyone else.
Okay, in this restaurant. That's the thing with like Colombia. Just when you start to hate it, it's so hard to ride here. You roll in somewhere like here,
And you're looking for places to buy.
Yeah.
Gracias. Interesting. Sausage, more sausage, plantain, egg, rice, other weird meat, arepa, ensalada. I don't know, we had it yesterday, it was so good. Yeah. That's typical. Ah, I see.
I think we're in the Never Never land of Colombia. We've been here for probably like 15 minutes now and we haven't seen one adult, and there's at least 50 or 60 children around.
They say don't ever take candy from a stranger. And I'd always grown up with that motto, thinking what kind of a freak would give kids candy? Yeah, they live on candy. They never grow old here.
De los ciclistas.
Mira, tome a ver. Como extranjero, ya. Tome.
Pregonando el lugar de la tragedia en el municipio de Copacabana.
There's been an avalanche, like a second avalanche, on the roads into Medellin. We stayed just about 100 k's outside of Medellin last night, and so we had to change. There was an avalanche yesterday. We had to change the way we were going, and so we're going to jump in a car because of the avalanche.
We'll pile into one of these bad boys.
Pues yo le digo a usted que también no tomamos lo mismo en el taxi porque hay que dar la vuelta.
300?
300 hasta Río Negro.
Yes. Here we go.
Ayudas y señores, 5 de la tarde estaremos con ustedes. Estará Jessica con ustedes.
Very good.
5 hours in the taxi from the mountains through Medellin through some fucking crazy traffic, and then now we're out the side of Medellin. But I don't really know where we are.
Went for dinner with Ignacio Vélez and Coach Salda, who are responsible for the Manzana Postobon team, and which just very recently, like in the last couple of weeks, was granted a pro-continental license, which means that it's the first privately run pro-continental team to come out of Colombia. thanks to Saldo and Ignacio, guys like Darwin Adapuma, Nairo Quintana, the Hanaus have been able to come through and make it to the World Tour and like completely kick ass in the World Tour.
You have two driving principles which are very clear: ethics and science. So we try to be on the edge of science first, and it has worked because we have Nairo, Chavez, Sergio. Most of the good World Tour riders have been educated to our team.
Gracias.
Chao, mañana.
Yeah.
Nice to see you.
Really good
You're very welcome.
Yeah. Thank you.
Good season.
Thank you. We got to ride with the Manzana post-upon team. So we did a coffee shop training ride, which is pretty much the antithesis of everything Thereabouts. Something I never thought we'd do on a Thereabouts trip. But the opportunity to ride with these guys and see firsthand what they were doing was awesome, and I'm really glad we did it.
Check it out, man. One of the guys, part of the team.
Hey, good look?
Yeah, looks good, man. Thank you. Manzana Postupon Club.
Tiene muy buena técnica porque no mueve la cadera tanto, o sea, las bases del pedaleo las hace muy bien distribuidas.
So we did like a 3-hour loop, easy spin, and on the ride I got to speak with Juan Pablo, who published an article about a year ago, sort of blowing the lid on Colombian doping and the situation within Colombian cycling.
Tell us about the article you published a year ago, like why you needed to publish that.
A lo largo de la historia han habido corredores que han hecho las cosas de una manera honesta, o no con esto quise decir que todo el mundo en Colombia ha usado doping o que los corredores que han salido a hacer grandes cosas a Europa lo han hecho de esa manera, pero sí era una realidad que como la existe en Colombia, está en todo el mundo y quise exponerla para que de una u otra manera se tomaran acciones para mejorar esta realidad. Tuve mucha oposición en el medio, entrenadores, equipos, la federación, lo tomaron por el lado de que yo estaba hablando muy mal del ciclismo colombiano, incluso recibí amenazas por las redes sociales. Entonces llegué al momento donde me decepcioné y tomé la decisión de retirarme y estuve pues fuera de la bicicleta 7 meses, pero Ignacio, que ha sido una persona que ha trabajado muy duro con el equipo Manzana Postón, pues me convenció de que debía cerrar de una manera adecuada mi carrera deportiva.
It seemed to these guys that it was so much more than just, I guess the end goal was achieving results, but it was about being Colombian, you know, and it was about making sure that they took Colombia to Europe and that they were, you know, they're trying to develop a cultural team that is representative of their country and take that to Europe and beat the Europeans at their own game, and they're fucking doing it.
We had one final obstacle of actually finally riding into Medellin, and we awoke to like torrential rain. So we basically put on all the clothes we had because we were up at 2,000 meters and had to descend all the way down to Medellin at 1,500 meters.
You want to go the short way?
Yeah.
You want to go the long way?
Wait a second, how far's a little bit?
Into the knees! Into the knees!
Of all the countries I've visited, I think I love Colombia the most. The environment and climate, I think that breeds people who are resilient to high altitude and can climb. A lot of these guys come from simple backgrounds where cycling for them can be life-changing.
You know, they're being true to themselves. And if that means putting your hand up being like, fuck it, I miss my wife, I miss my mum, I miss my dad, I want to go home for a bit and like train that way. You know, a lot of people wouldn't have the balls, like they'd be like, nah, I gotta be fucking hard. The way that these guys talk about it, like it's not even like it's an embarrassing thing. Because it's not an embarrassing thing. I'm like that.
Knowing that I'm going to race these guys potentially for the rest of my career, probably. It's a little bit scary and daunting to think like the shitstorm that's coming and like and the talent that's going to come out of here. The thing I could take from it is that I need to come here and train because the only way to beat these guys, I think, is to come and do what they do. There's nowhere else like this. There's no one else in the world doing what these guys are doing.
This trip has really kind of reminded me to stay true to yourself, to do what it is that you love. You know, despite all of the shit that I did when I stopped bike riding, I maintain that I'll be a better bike rider, a more successful bike rider than I would have been had I not stopped. Now, because my mental approach is way better. And so next year, I want to win a race. I haven't won a race. I've been fucking close this year, like a lot of times. So yeah, I think that's what I'm going to take from it is just be me.
I'm gonna come to Colombia and train like a fucking Colombian, man. I think that's the future.
Yeah, I'm gonna come back down here like January. I love this place. Buy a house down here. Get to eat bandeja paisa every day. Have you done?
Yeah. It's okay to cry.
It's okay to cry. Loco!
Stop it, you motherfucker. I'm not good at talking. I'm just a bike rider.
Gypsy rock, non-stop, cumbia, hip-hop. Play it for the cats, rocking tags at the bus stop. Been in Bogota just about a week, creating with the Moreneta family as we speak. It got that clave, kick slap, booty shaking, boom back. Constantly creating math, Professor laid the ill track. Letting this music take us all new heights. Dropping vocals, paint a burner, then I'm back on the fly. Yeah, it's the cumbia, TikTok, gypsy rock, hip-hop, MDC and ABC. They paint the city non-stop. Colombia is beautiful and showing mad love. love. We're jamming straight through the darkness till we reach the light of love. It's the dub rocker, two-step, Pedro on the drum set, Fester on the knobs, making sound swing so wet. Trusted in my struggle each and every day. This music is my meditation, it's the way I pray. It's the gypsy rock, non-stop, cumbia, hip-hop, freestyle sessions, learning lessons till the sun drop. Dre is on the lick and it sounds so sweet. Now take a minute to relax and enjoy the beat. It's like